Story.
Hello, hello.
You're not going to get lurgy then. Yeah, when you go to Indian, lurgy.
Can you hear me now, Gav?
Yes, now
Okay,
we can hear you,
good.
Kevin. Lurgy is slang for like disease. The Americans, which you're probably more used to talking to, would call it cooties. Cooties, yes.
Cooties.
And suddenly much is explained. Nice.
This sounds like so much fun. There are so many wrong things about this. So many.
You are inevitably going to shit your pants in daily. That's just going to happen.
Yeah,
Just
it's
accept. Maybe bring some male or adult nappies. Yeah, that's your thing. Adult nappies. Well, there you go.
Kev agrees.
It sounded like you broke up a little bit there. How long are you in that game, Matt?
We are at round 3-4. If you mouse over me, you can see how long the time is. I don't know how long the time is.
You're in there a good 15 minutes.
Yeah, about halfway.
Rav, have you thought more about giving this a little whirl, or what are you thinking?
Because he wants to unlock the Eden raid because it's awesome. Oh yeah. I think you'll like it. Yeah. The bomb traps. Hey.
So it
Yeah, you have to lead the group, dude.
You will not defile my
Just to type something, and he just
Do your usual typing.
He's not. He's fantastic. He grabs aggro on everything.
Yeah, he's a bit slow, but not that slow. Gav, they do not like me.
They're not alone.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Much appreciated. My gangplank suddenly had.
Morelos is not bad.
Oh no. If you can also give him some more mana items, he's really good.
Which dungeon are you on, Brian?
There is people 1, there is people 2, then there is less people 1.
You want the rest
It's hilarious because there's two schools of thought with this game. There's like me, Itzy, Ali, who watch the story, taking all the details. And then there's Brian, Dark, and Hazel, like, escape, escape, escape. What the fuck? I can't skip this one? What the fuck? Yeah. No, it's logo. Oh no, I can believe it.
Oh, gal. Level 2 Raven. Draven with a rapid fire cannon now.
Nice.
Enjoy. Get a
I'm just gonna.
just sit back.
Say what now?
Get a bloodthirst on him and
Oh,
just
yeah, he has that already. He is having a really fun time.
After the dungeon you're doing, Brian, you'll have a trial as well, straight after, so give me a shout and I'll queue with you to get you a quick queue.
Are you going to do that now? Because I'll just sign up then.
Oh, good shout. Sorry, yeah, do that, Kev. Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
I completely... Sorry, buddy. I completely forgot you were waiting on me there.
Yeah, alright, no but.
My brain is not engaged today.
Mm-hmm.
Your brain has the dumb.
Yes. Yes, I have a very severe case of the dumbs today.
Also, I picked up a Sway just if I ever need him.
Your face is swollen.
And I got a Darius out of the field, so I could potentially give some Imperial buff if I wanted to. What the fuck is this? A Lucian with two, what? He has a Warmog and two, Hexblade guns.
You see the cutscene with the big thing grabbing hold of it? So before you do that dungeon, you basically build a giant fucking golem to grab hold of the mountain and pull it back down to the ground. Well, at least I know there'd be one person who'd watch it if I made one of those.
Let's give them a show. You underestimate me.
Prepare yourself.
back in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, someone got a full noble team up and running. It destroyed me.
Righteousness will prevail! Ah, can't you do anything by yourself?
And I'm back.
Welcome back.
Very well.
How are you getting on there,
You'll not be
Brian?
discouraged.
How's your game going, Kev?
I haven't lost any points yet, and we're 4.4 round.
Jesus.
But I'm just about to lose some points. There we go. Shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, I had a horrendous couple of days in ranked. I've gone all the way from plat 2 down to gold 3. Or even gold 2. Yeah.
I really shouldn't have said anything. I've lost 2 in a row now.
Stop that, damn you! I don't care what it takes!
Protect me! Leave the healing to me.
Ali?
Hey, you didn't want to do Mongols with me, right? I've been online. Oh,
But to answer your question, no, he didn't. Well, yeah, but they're only in for like the leveling dungeons. Where you go for the trials. I can't. Yeah, it's, I can't stand people being happy. It annoys me. Plus, I feel I'm doing him a favour because I tried that whole being happy thing once and it sucked. That's why I get drunk instead now. Makes me drunk. Makes me drunk, which is the same thing, really. Wankers! Did you give any of them one? Who would you have given? Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I agree. It was nice when I took Ishtola to see a black mage that actually knew what they were doing.
Writing's not that easy, but Grammarly can help. This sentence is grammatically correct.
Guide for the Crown of the Immaculate. This is the second trial encounter made available by patch 5.0 in Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. If you find yourself enthralled by these mechanics, there's really no shame in looking for a guiding light. Someone who can be your pillar, help you spread your wings and overlook your sins. My name is Tech, and I'll be your trial guide. We begin with Realm Razor. This will deal raid-wide damage, and healers should have their shields and heals ready to counter. Heavenly Hosts will spawn 4 Forgiven Shame and 1 Forgiven Venery adds around the platform. These adds should be picked up by the tanks immediately. They'll begin to cast Scold's Bridle, a smaller AoE blast, and should be destroyed as soon as possible. Healers be ready in case any of those AoE blasts go off. Daybreak will cause a number of AoE circles to form on the ground. Move out of these as necessary. Next, 4 circles on the ground will slowly bring down Sin Spheres to the platform. At least 1 player needs to stand in each circle to soak the incoming damage. At the same time, the boss will cast Enthrall, a gaze attack that all players will need to turn away from to avoid. If you don't, you'll be confused and start attacking your teammates. For the next round of adds, the boss will cast Guiding Light, buffing them with Fothri's Blessing. This will give the adds the ability to cast more AoE attacks, so be mindful of where you're standing as you burn them down. Eventually, the boss will stop moving and begin to grow Exalted Wings. During this time, high raid-wide AoE damage is going out, so healers beware. He'll then knock back and stun all players, signifying the beginning of the next phase. From this point on, if you wipe, you'll start back at the beginning of this phase. Righteous Bolt is a heavy-hitting tank buster. Cooldown and heal through this as necessary. The first Winged Reprobation cast will call down 2 weapons onto the platform that will throw out multiple column AoE attacks in set patterns. Move out of each as necessary. The next Winged Reprobation cast will add a moving blade with 2 gaps in it that will circle the platform. Players can either choose to move with this turning AoE blade, or can position themselves to stand in the gaps of the blade to avoid getting hit, all while dodging the other column AoE attacks. The boss can move to the center of the room and cast Rightful Reprobation, throwing out 8-line AoE attacks towards the outer edges of the room. Getting hit by this will deal damage and debuff you, so be sure to avoid it. He will quickly soon after cast another round of Rightful Reprobation attacks, but this time with far less warning. I would recommend moving into a safe spot during the first round, and staying in that same area until the second attack goes off. Shadow Reaver will deal high raid-wide damage. Healers should be extra watchful of debuff players during this cast. Eventually, the boss will move to the edge of the platform and become invulnerable. 4 Shame adds will again spawn around the platform, with 1 invulnerable Venery ad in the center. The Venery ad will target a Shame ad and attempt to consume them, indicated by this very big blue tether. Players will need to destroy the tethered ad before it gets sucked in. Otherwise, they'll have to deal with a spicy AoE blast that will debuff every player. At the same time, you're dodging all manner of AoE attacks. Once all 4 Shame adds are destroyed, the Venery ad will lose its invulnerability, and you'll be able to destroy it too. The goal is to destroy all of the adds before Innocence gets to 100 on his Immaculate Authority gauge, or you will die. Once all the adds are down, cooldown, shield, and heal through the boss's ultimate blast. You'll need lots of cooldowns here, especially if your party is suffering from any debuffs. Next up, the boss will move to the center and cast God Ray. This will cause 3 rounds of giant pizza slice AoE attacks to come out from the boss. Players will need to adjust into each safe zone to avoid all 3 attacks. Light Pillar will target a random player for this lineup marker. All players need to share this damage as it can do an insane amount of damage, so be ready to line up behind the boss as soon as this lights up. Periodically, the boss can move to an edge and cast Beatific Vision. This will do proximity-based damage from the center of the room, and all players must immediately move to one of the sides to minimize damage. Drop of Light will target players with these massive AoE circles. Affected players will need to separate to avoid overlapping damage. As the encounter progresses, you'll notice a lot of these attacks will begin to overlap. The basic principles of handling each mechanic remains the same, just make sure to take each in turn. I'd say the most dangerous mechanic is properly stacking up for Light Pillar, as even having just 1 or 2 people missing the lineup will result in deaths. All of these mechanics will repeat until the boss is down. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Up next, we're diving into the Tempest to uncover some mysteries. As always, thanks for
Hello?
Yo.
Hello.
Yep, I'll go.
Yeah.
You coming, Itch? Did you say? You can't go on your pally alley. It's too low level.
I wasn't gonna go on my pally. I was just You guys have your meters on? No, for me it's just a test to see how accurate the numbers are.
Are you so
Yeah,
determined
that's why he's
to
at the bottom of
die?
them.
One last chance, villains! Bow down and acknowledge your king!
Help,
Your
help, I
God!
can't get up.
Prepare for judgment! This will be a first. To me, my servant, feast upon these villains and their foul fill.
Surprised the white mage is just spamming glare for all the eternity.
Fine, fine, if you refuse to die. I will strip you of the illusion of will. And you will suffer.
I turned away, but
Come on, fatty, waddle along.
You want the illusion of
Less kiting and more anchoring. Fucker, drop like a stone. This is a crash diet. Yeah, that's gonna be you soon. Hey, look, you come out of it looking a bit girly.
Come on.
Nah, I've died so often, my DPS has gone to shit. No, 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 no. Yeah, I've died twice already. Yeah, once because I didn't... Or are you burping him over your shoulder?
Just kill the samurai, but they're expendable. Would somebody like to limit break?
That tickled?
Yeah, a little bit. There we go.
But I am more powerful!
He just kept screaming, "Feel my girth." Yeah, I gave it that one because the name amused me. Well, there you go, Rav. No bother. I know, you deserve it.
So Gav, you didn't have him running, right?
Jesus. Fucking obsessed, man. Yes, I did.
Okay. So what was the
No, I'm
average
sending you a
DPS?
screenshot.
Okay. It's like, fuck that, I'm not analyzing the numbers with you.
Nope. Definitely not. Alright. Yeah. I will publicly shame you.
So mine looks like that. Alright, so mine comes out. No, okay, so my numbers come out lower, okay. Interesting. So I guess the memory is more less accurate, and it means that it's lower.
You mean the thing that says it's less accurate is actually less accurate?
Well, I didn't know whether to be
Really?
less accurate upwards or downwards or something. Well, what matters to me is that the overall listing is the result of all.
Nah, oh, Raph, you're forgetting the big fact. That is, if it was actually, boosting his DPS, it was okay.
No, but I mean the fact that the ordering is also very off is what concerns me more. But alright.
Yeah, mine's running the proper one, so
Yeah.
I just followed the instructions for the thing and then the Kageru overlay. Here, I'll show you. I can screenshot my option settings for you if you want. Yeah. No, I put it in the main channel, I think. I think it was this guide that I followed. Let me. That one.
But Gav, the important part is, can I use it for my fishing? So it actually, in an hour I can see how much I catch with this kind of bait compared to some other bait.
I think Malazar was saying that
Here's a
one
quick
of the
tutorial
plugins for
on
it
how to
actually
get
had that sort of
Advanced Combat
stuff and a
Tracker
bunch of other
and
things.
the Kage
The
Road
one that gives you like
theme all
almost
sorted
a
out.
DBM.
First thing you want to do is go to advancedcombattracker.com and download ACT. So just download the setup, install it wherever you like. Now it's very important that the shortcut that is automatically created when you install ACT, go to the properties of that, so the compatibility tab, and tick run this program as administrator. Otherwise otherwise ACT won't hook into FF properly and be able to read the data. Then load up ACT. You will get the startup wizard appear. First thing to do is next. Click get available paths and plugins. Wait a second, looks like nothing is happening, but it definitely is. It's getting the list of plugins. Make sure you pick the FFXIB plugin. It should automatically pick it, especially if you've got FF running. And then you can just click close. Well, actually no, you need to click use this plugin. And then you can click close. You can ignore the rest of it. And when you click on the plugins tab, this should be here. In the plugins tab, and then the FFXIB tab, you need to look at this window. You need to tick combine pets with owner, and you also need to tick simulate individual dot crits. These are preferred by FF logs, so if you want the most accurate logs, make sure these two are ticked. Now, when you click test game connection, this is the message that you want. Especially this network data is available. If you don't have the message saying that network data is available, or it says it can't connect to network data, you need to add an exception to your Windows firewall or your third-party firewall and allow ACT to read your network data. Once you've done that, click test. test game connection again and make sure it says succeeded. If it doesn't show that, you're not going to get the most accurate information. Okay. Next thing to do is get the overlay theme. So we'll go to the overlay plugin. I'll leave the link in the description by all means. It's located here. Need to get the latest overlay plugin, so I'll get the full version. Let that download. Okay, so then you'll get this folder. What I do is I actually put it in the ACT folder. So I make a new folder, call it overlay, so I know what it is. Drag everything from the overlay plugin zip into the overlay folder. Okay, that's everything there. Go back to ACT. In the plugins tab, plugin listing, click browse, go to your ACT folder, and go to your overlay folder, or whatever you called it, the folder that you just made. Ignore everything here and click overlay plugin, click open, click add enable. This will then give you this no data to show and time and everything. So this is the very default overlay, but we'll change that in a minute. The next thing to do is disable. Actually, I think these are already disabled. In plugins and FFX overlay set. So make sure target is hidden, focus target is hidden, and hover it. Targets hidden, targets hidden. Otherwise, you're going to get the default ACT overlays on top. You may not want them. If you want them later on, by all means, then you can enable them. But for now, we just want to keep things nice and basic. In the overlay plugin.dll tab under plugins, you'll have two things. You'll have minipass and spell timer. I don't use spell timer, so I'm going to remove that. If you want to be able to track your spells, then you would need spell timer. Now, in the minipass section of the overlay plugin, you'll see here there's a URL. This is where your theme is loaded from. They're normally from HTML files. However, the one that I use, Kagero, is actually a URL, which is here. Again, I'll put the link in the description. All you do is copy that, paste it into ACT. Click Reload Overlay, and you'll get this this neat looking window. Now, it's in Korean, and I don't read Korean, so we need to change that. So we click the three dots here, click the cogwheel. This will pop up this window. Ignore everything here apart from the language bit. Click here. Obviously change it to preferred language. English. This is the save button. Click save. Now we can actually read what's going on. If you have a pet, put it in here. And from now, you can pretty much customize your overlay to whatever you want. So, sky's the limit. You can add and track different things. You can track, critical direct hits, the max hits, damage taken, hitting down, overheal. Sky's the limit, really. So you can play around with that and set it to how you want. Just make sure you click save after each change. And if we go to dummy quickly, so I'll move this here. It's not where I normally put it, but I normally have it down here, but just so you can see. As you can
Did that get yours working? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the one I used. That Kagero one. It's but I tweaked it a little bit. But it's I don't have the in-game one running. I have it on a separate little window of its own on another screen. Yeah. Yeah. So I just have it on the second screen, set it to always on top, and I just run it when I'm curious as to how I'm doing. Did you finish your role quest, by the way? So you're going to hit a bit soon in the main quest that requires you to have finished one of the role quests to progress. No, you're going to have to do both of them anyway, so... But when you hit that point, once you go back to that guy having finished your role quest, that's when you can get your artifact set and artifact weapon. No. The guy that you'll hit in the zone you're going to next, it'll say you have to have finished one of the role quests to proceed. And once you've done that, when you go back to him, you can talk to him again, and he'll let you get a full set of artifact gear off. Just claim it for free. It's all 430 stuff, but it's another set of appearances. $430. Stuff I gave you yesterday's stuff I gave you yesterday's $450. Oh, I need that set for my dancer. No. Here's the other stuff. For dudes, anyway. The talisman and the briefs. Oh, I it's some very expensive leatherworking stuff that I could make. People like to look like sluts, what can I say? Yeah. Or maybe a monk. Just takes off and runs in the sky, doesn't it? Did you want some of the leopard skin tidy whities then, Brian? Ah. There's an event on whether you can get some beach clothes at the minute as well. The quest starts in Limsa, in the Aft Castle, and then it sends you to Costa del Sol. Yeah. At least until you actually hit max. I'm gonna start that new course that I bought this weekend as well, if you're interested. I'm gonna start that new course this weekend. The ones that the Humble Bundle one. Alright. Yeah, no worries. Good. Grand.
Interesting thing for Stephen here, Brian. Well, Carlos and Worky asked me to build upon a Java class there where it's already asking questions when you run it, but he wants me to add on another question where you're asking a question, and if it says yes, then like to create a table needs to build up the database, and it needs to hold 4 separate different options in the database. So it's pretty much exactly what Stevie's doing. Isn't it? Java / database, or Java linking into database. Yeah. Just when Carlos was telling me, I was thinking, right, that's kind of everything Steve's doing, right? Oh yeah, no, I'm just saying when I'm finished with it, I'll probably show it to him, or if he wants to get to talk about it or anything. Well, that's why I'm saying it to you. You obviously want to be talking to him, so I figured I'd let you know. Right? That's true. That's true. Yep, never mind. Yes, it's not that I'm not connecting. It's never mind. Just never mind.
The whale. The whale. You're riding on the whale that's made a bubble around you. You're having a whale of a time. Hey! I like this game. Really not a fan of your cutscenes, are you? Ah. Nice. Hmm. I don't know. It looked a little bit like Bismarck, the big. Hmm. Well, it's not a city. It's just a little island. Like there's a few trees and stuff on its back. Yeah, that's not the whale. That's the city of the ancients from FF7, basically. Hmm. Yeah, you're under the water. The whale made a big bubble so that you could breathe and then fucked off. Ah, you're gonna have to start paying for your teleport. Ah. Hmm. Nice. I'm not sure. Yeah. Goetia is the unlimited one, and then Phantasmagoria is the limited one. The unlimited one gives 440 gear, and then the one that's limited to 450 a week gives 460 gear. 450 gear. Ah, nice.
by the way, Gav. So apparently, not being able to get into Umdapur Keep for the relic quest, that's due to farm bots probably clogging up that server.
Fair enough.
So, no idea how I'll ever get in there then.
I'm gonna win this one. Yay!
Nice.
Not there yet, but very, very close. I hope I don't lose it.
got such a weird setup in this game. Thanks to spatulas, I've got 4 knights, 3 blade masters, 3 yordles, and an exile.
Victory!
Congrats, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. Promoted. Gold 1.
Jesus, nice.
I'm trying to make my way up.
What you are.
And I'm going to quit while up.
Never a bad shout.
Right, good night, guys. Take care. Goodbye.
Good night, mate. Take it
Yeah.
easy.
Holy shit! I got into the keep.
There you go.
I did it unsync though, so
You'll be fine.
should just be me, yeah.
Yeah.
Fear the mighty sword of the paladin. Just chop them down. I haven't done too much content that's like above, like way below my level, because everything's always synced.
Yeah, the unsync thing's handy for that.
Yeah, but it just feels so odd being this powerful.
Hmm. Which bit you got to? Oh, you got to the city bit, didn't you? Hmm. Wow, you're getting very near the end. Oh, the hooded guys. Yeah, there is. They're Asians. Or what's left of them. One of the big story reveals was that the whole fucking universe started with one planet that was Asians. And they could create things using magic, but it went to shit because it was based on like mind power, and if they had a nightmare, they'd create nightmare creatures and stuff. So to stop it, one group of them made Zodiac, which is the fucking big dark dude, and he stopped them. But the other group were worried he was getting too powerful, so they made Hydaelyn that splintered him and the world into 13, so divided his power by 13. So all the people on all the different worlds are basically 1/13 of an Asian. So that's why they're doing what they're doing, because they're trying to rejoin the worlds to bring all their people back. Mm.
Serena Williams and Penelope the Winter. Alright, interesting names for Final Fantasy.
Why not? Yeah, they're quite fucking generous with this expansion, I'll give them that.
Well, getting it out of gear, right? The higher ones are 40% to get them out.
Hi everyone, welcome to the visual guide for Amarat. This is the first level 80 dungeon made available by patch 5.0 in Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. While this dungeon may seem beastly at first, the sky will burn an Amarat in my grave before I let you wipe to anything. My name is Miztech and I'll be your dungeon guide. In this first section of trash, certain trash mobs will tether and fixate onto random players. These will place stacking debuffs on the affected player and deal high damage. I recommend you focus these down first. You will also need to watch out for the environmental AoEs caused by the destruction of the city. The first boss is the first beast. Venomous Breath is a frontal cone. Tanks should make sure to keep the boss facing away from the group. Meteor Rain will mark up 3 players with these massive AoE circles, and the affected players will need to spread apart to avoid overlap. Immediately after, meteors will drop down with proximity-based damage under these players, while the boss casts Falling Sky, adding 2 more large AoE circles to avoid. Players will need to find a safe zone as far from the incoming meteors as possible to reduce that damage. The beast will then move to a random spot on the platform and cast Final Sky. If hit by this, you'll take massive damage and be debuffed with separation. Players can use the drop meteors to hide behind and line of sight the boss, reducing the damage and avoiding debuffs completely from the Final Sky attack. The ceiling will then crumble on top of the platform, forming a very thin safe zone. All players must move to that safe zone to avoid excess damage. Earthquake is a point-blank AoE attack that players can move out of. The next round of Meteor Rain will also call down AoE circles around the outer edge of the platform, further limiting the available safe spaces. These move in a line around the outer edge, so players can pre-position themselves to avoid excess damage as necessary. The Burning Sky will mark up all players with more AoE circles, and you'll need to move away from one another to again avoid overlap. Remember to hide behind meteors to avoid excess damage and debuffs from Final Sky. These mechanics will repeat until the boss is down. As you can see, this fight has an insane amount of AoE effects to constantly dodge, so do your best to avoid getting hit as you burn the beast down. This next section of trash is very similar to the first. Remember to focus down the fixated adds first and then avoid all those extra AoEs. The second boss is the Terminus Bellwether. This boss melts, and you'll quickly realize its real strength comes from the power of friendship. Shrill Shriek will do high group-wide damage and cause a number of adds to spawn on the platform. And when I say a number, I mean a buttload. You'll again have specific adds tether and fixate to specific players, and I would highly prioritize killing these over the others first. You'll face 3 waves of adds, each with their own AoEs to dodge and fixating mobs to burn down first, before the boss returns to the platform. Once returned, the boss will immediately begin to slow cast Burst, and you'll have a short time to destroy the boss or you will die. In this last and absolutely incredible section of this dungeon, you'll need to watch for the extra AoE laser beams as you burn down each set of trash. There's quite a bit of AoE to dodge, so stay light on your feet. The last boss is Therion. Shadow Wreck will deal high group-wide damage and cause the platform behind the boss to be engulfed in fire. Apocalypsis will throw out a massive beam directly in front of the boss, hitting anything on the platform. Players will need to move to these tiny outcroppings to avoid getting hit. Therion Charge will create a proximity-based damage marker, and players will have to move further down around the platform to reduce stat damage. This mechanic will also bring the boss further down the platform, even further reducing the amount of space we have available to dodge future mechanics. Next, 2 lines of heads will spawn on either side of the platform and throw out deathly rays that should be avoided. Only one side of the faces blast first, so players can move to dodge the first set and then reposition to dodge the other side's blasts. The boss can also cast Deathly Ray, and will do so in a random direction. You'll also notice AoE circles on the platform. Move away from these attacks as necessary. One more jump and you're not left with much platform to work with as the mechanics begin to repeat. You'll notice as the fight progresses, each Apocalypsis cast will also cause the smaller outcroppings of the platform to crumble, acting as a bit of a softened rage. All of these mechanics will repeat until the boss is down or you die. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Up next, we'll look at the final trial. As always, thanks for watching. Till next time.
Grammarly does more than catch errors. With Grammarly, you can find.
Hi everyone, welcome to the visual guide for the Dying Gasp. This is the final new trial made available by patch 5.0 in Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. I'll take it on bad faith that you wouldn't click on this captivating video without already knowing the spoilers. I really would Hades to ruin the story for you. So, spoiler alert? My name is Miztech and I'll be your trial guide. The fight begins with Ravenous Assault, a heavy-hitting tank buster on the primary target. Cool down and heal through this as necessary. When the boss casts Bad Faith, he'll move into the center and spawn 2 massive walls on either side of him. Each wall will have a number of arrows pointing in a specific direction. To avoid this attack, players will need to move to the side that does not have arrows actively pointing in their direction. The boss will then cast Double, making the next action initiated to be executed twice. This is followed by Dark Eruption, which will mark up players with these circle AoE markers and also places a set of circle AoEs on the ground. Affected players will need to move apart to avoid overlapping damage, and everyone needs to make sure they're not standing in any of the ground AoE circles. Broken Faith will spawn a number of orange circles all around the platform and call down discs in these locations. Once a disc reaches this section of the platform, it will explode in a wide AoE circle, much wider than the original orange circle. This explosion will deal damage and debuff anyone caught inside of it. Since these discs are coming down at different speeds in a random pattern, players will have to stay away from the areas about to explode and dodge as necessary to avoid excess damage and debuffs. Another double, and the boss will cast Shadow Spread, where players will have to dodge 2 sets of AoEs coming out of the boss. These mechanics will repeat with some overlap until you get him below 10% and he becomes invulnerable. At this point, he'll begin to charge up his Fervor of the Ancients gauge while spawning waves of adds. Tanks will need to pick up these loose adds as soon as possible. In the waves with invulnerable caster adds, affected players will need to spread apart the circle AoEs to avoid overlapping, while the free players group up on the stack up marker to share the damage. You'll deal with 5 waves of adds and their respective AoE attacks before the boss casts Ancient Dark 4. If he hits 100 on his gauge before you destroy all of the adds, you will die. Be sure to cool down shield and heal through this damage and get ready for the next phase. Luckily, from here on out, if you wipe, you will restart at the beginning of this new phase. In this phase, Hades is massive and will not move from the edge of the platform. He'll target the primary target with a constant barrage of auto attacks, so healers and tanks beware. Titanomachy will deal high raid-wide damage. Shield and heal through this as necessary. Shadow Stream will blast the platform directly in front of the boss, and all players will need to move to the sides of the platform to avoid the attack. Dual Strike will mark up players with these circle AoE markers. Spread these apart to avoid overlapping that damage. When the boss casts Echo of the Lost, he'll reach out with one arm and swipe across the platform. To avoid high damage and debuffs, all players must quickly move to the side of the platform behind his outstretched arm. Polydegman's Purgation will have the boss slamming down onto the outer edges of the platform. Players will need to move into the middle of the platform to avoid getting hit. Hellborn Yop will mark up the 2 tanks with these familiar or shaker markers and eventually target them both for long conal attacks. The tanks can move to the sides of the boss to bait these attacks away from the rest of the group in the center. Captivity will target 2 players with large AoE circle markers and stun them and anyone caught inside the attack before pulling them all into an ethereal jail. To avoid getting too many people caught in this trap, the affected players will have to move away from others. Then, all free players will need to immediately burn down the jail to release the players before the Chorus of the Lost cast goes off, or they will die. The next Dual Strike attack will also add thin tethers and AoE markers to more players. All affected players
Back
will need
in
to
a
spread
mo.
apart to avoid
Okay.
overlap. Next, the platform will turn black and all players will be affected
Alright,
by
buddy.
Doom.
Catch you
5
tomorrow
white
then.
circles will form on the platform. To remove everyone's Doom debuff, you must have at least one player stand in each of the 5 circles or you will die. Wall of the Lost will knock back all players from the center of the platform. Make sure you're not too close to the edge during this time. At this point, you'll notice mechanics begin to repeat with increased overlap. Don't forget to stand in the white circles to remove everyone's Doom, break players out of the jail, and watch for his arm swipe attacks. Eventually, the boss will cast Life in Captivity, chaining all players and beginning an active time event. Spam those buttons to break yourself free. At this point, the boss will continuously cast the Dark Devours, dealing high raid-wide damage and slowly covering the platform in darkness. Healers will need to be ready with those shields and heals, and the use of personal and raid cooldowns at this time is highly recommended. Once the entire platform is fully engulfed in shadow, all players will be affected by a bleed and the boss will cast one final Black Cauldron. If this cast goes off, you will die. So push out that damage as fast as possible to get him down first. If
Back.
you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Up next, we'll start looking at the new extreme challenges. As
Should be
always,
quicker,
thanks
Brian.
for watching. Till next time.
Season X is here, and the world is destabilized.
Oh, nice. See you later, mate. Good night.